Be honest with me, how many times have you craved a one-way flight to the white sands of Ipanema, or a secluded villa deep in the heart of the Amazon, just so you could finally breathe? We spend our entire lives scraping together pennies for these brief escapes, desperate for the roar of the ocean to drown out the screaming pressure inside our skulls. But there is a brutal truth that Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful emperor of the Roman Empire, saw through 2 millennia ago. Geographic escape is nothing more than an expensive illusion. Because no matter if you fly to the very ends of the earth, you are always carrying your greatest enemy with you, an untamed mind. Let me take you to a secret sanctuary in the middle of a living hell on earth. Picture a favela, one of the poorest, most chaotic slums in Brazil. The sweltering heat thick with dust. The thumping funk music vibrating through dirt walls. And somewhere, the sharp crack of gunfire tearing through the unstable air. In the middle of that suffocating chaos, in a tiny room barely big enough for an old bed, sits a single father. He has no high-end noise-canceling headphones. No scented candles. No fine wine. He just sits there, taking one slow, deep breath. His eyes hauntingly calm, as he turns the page of a book, softly reading to his child curled up asleep in his arms. The world outside may be burning, but inside him lies a lake of perfect stillness. What? Because he has learned how to build an inner citadel. A sacred ground where no poverty, no noise, and no injustice can ever set foot. Marcus Aurelius taught us, nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. Peace is not a destination on a GPS map. It is a decision made in every breath. Right now, whether you're trapped in the frantic rush of Hanoi or drowning in a mountain of bills, you already own a free vacation right inside of you. The secret isn't about how the world treats you. It's about how you translate those troubles. True happiness isn't a life without storms. It's the ability to find absolute silence in the dead center of the hurricane. Are you ready to shut the doors of your external senses and step into your own fortress? Have you ever found yourself awake in the dead of night, the eerie blue glow of your phone piercing through your eyes, as your fingers mindlessly scroll through the dazzling photos of some influencer in Sao Paulo or New York? A blood-red supercar glowing under a sunset. A luxury watch glistening on a wrist. A life that seems painted in gold. In the hollow silence of your room, you feel a cold current shiver down your spine. That's envy. Suddenly you feel small. A failure. Trapped in a reality that feels painfully ordinary. But stop. Just for a second. Let me grant you the Emperor's gaze. A spiritual dissection tool that Marcus Aurelius used to keep himself from drowning in the madness of the Roman palace. Marcus had a strange, haunting habit. He would strip away the glamour of everything until only the naked, raw essence remained. When he looked at his magnificent purple robes, the ultimate symbol of power that the world bled for, he whispered to himself, "This is nothing but sheep's wool stained with the murky blood of sea snails." When he looked at a royal feast, all he saw were the carcasses of dead fish and birds. Why would an emperor do something so brutal? Because he knew the truth. Illusion is the shackle of the soul. Now look at that supercar on your screen with those same piercing eyes. What is it really? It is an inanimate block of steel. A clinking heap of mechanical parts that consumes fuel and is destined to rust away into dust. And that man smiling with such smug satisfaction? Behind that perfectly cropped frame and those shimmering filters, there might be a mountain of debt keeping him awake at night. A hollow loneliness from performing a play for millions of strangers. A soul screaming into an emptiness that no object can fill. When you find the courage to tear away the gilded mask, the world around you changes. The supercar loses its shine. The watch loses its weight. And the shackles of envy simply shatter. You are no longer a slave to borrowed dreams. You are free. Because you finally realize that true luxury doesn't live in fleeting objects. It lives in a razor-sharp mind that can see through the fog of society. Don't look with your eyes, look with your soul. Because the truth only reveals itself when the illusions are stripped to the bone. Can you feel that vibration? It's not an earthquake, it's coming from your pocket. Every ping, every ting from a notification is a razor-sharp hook, sinking deep into your focus and dragging your soul into a symphony of absolute chaos. We live in an era where silence is mistaken for a flaw, while noise, even the most hollow, meaningless noise, is worshipped as proof of existence. But let me let you in on a powerful secret. In a world screaming for attention, the one who masters silence is the one who holds the ultimate superpower. Imagine the digital battlefield of our time, Twitter or X. You've just read a post that spits on the very core values you hold sacred. Inside your chest, a fire of rage erupts. Your heart thuds against your ribs. Your fingertips tremble, desperate to claw back, to type the most lethal, toxic words to crush your opponent. Just to protect your screaming ego. You want a glorious victory on a glass screen. But in that split second, the ghost of Marcus Aurelius returns like a haunting whisper. Silence is the ultimate shield of a clear mind. You take one deep, heavy breath. 10 seconds pass in the void of non-reaction. You put the phone down, screen side on the table. And just like that, the storm in your mind vanishes. You just did what millions of people out there cannot. You refuse to step into the black hole of negativity. Those 10 seconds of silence? That wasn't cowardice. It was an inner revolution. You just saved your entire day from bitterness. You saved relationships that could have shattered over a vile, reckless words. Most importantly, you kept your liquid gold, your peace. In the survival game of the mind, the winner isn't the one who throws the final punch on a keyboard. It's the one brave enough to walk away from the ring with a quiet, serene smile. Silence isn't just the absence of noise. It is absolute control over the soundtrack of your fate. Do you dare to be silent, to finally become the master? Listen, there is a secret war that rages every morning, long before the first light of dawn breaks the horizon. While the rest of the world is still drowned in unfinished dreams, you lie there, under the warmth of your blankets, listening to the steady pitter-patter of rain against the window. A seductive whisper crawls into your mind. Just 5 more minutes, you've earned the rest. But in that exact moment, a ghost from the past emerges. It isn't a god, it is Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man on the planet at his time, battling his own slacker instincts. He doesn't appear on a golden throne, but as a warrior questioning his own soul. Were you born to huddle here under the covers and keep yourself warm? Or were you born to fulfill the great purpose of a human being? Leave the Emperor's Palace with me for a moment, and come to a cramped, sweat-drenched jiu-jitsu gym on a grimy street corner in Brazil. The tropical rain is pounding against a rusted tin roof. A young fighter wakes up with aching shoulders and a map of purple bruises from last night's training. His emotions are screaming at him, "Stop. It's raining." No one will blame you if you skip just one session. But he stands up in absolute silence. He ties his faded belt and steps onto the mat. He didn't show up because he wanted to. He showed up because that is the man he swore to become. He knows a bitter truth that the modern world tries to hide. Feelings are liars. Discipline is the only truth. Discipline is not self-punishment. It is the highest form of freedom. When you let your mood decide whether you get out of bed, you are a slave to the temporary chemical reactions in your brain. You aren't the master of your life. You are just a puppet of comfort. Marcus looked at the ants, the birds, the bees, all quietly playing their part to maintain the order of the universe without a single complaint. So why do you, a being with intellect and soul, deny your warrior nature for a little bit of warmth? True freedom only reveals itself when you act on your highest purpose, instead of fleeting whims. Every time you defeat the urge to sleep in, every time you step out of your comfort zone to face the fire, you are declaring to the universe, "I am not a slave to my feelings. I am the master of my fate." Don't wait until you feel like it to start. Start because it is what must be done. Because that is how an unconquerable soul, Invictus, is tempered in the furnace of discipline. Tomorrow morning, when that seductive whisper calls to you again, will you be the solid mountain? Or will you be the cloud that vanishes with the wind? Have you ever stood amidst the ruins of the plans you spent a lifetime building? Feeling your heart tighten as you scream into the infinite void, "Why me? Why is fate so cruel?" That is the sob of a soul besieged by darkness. But in that hollow moment of despair, I want you to hear a whisper of power from the ancient past. A spiritual alchemy used by Marcus Aurelius to transmute tragedy into triumph. Amor Fati, love your fate. This is not weak submission. This is a fierce, decisive love for everything that happens, especially the bitterest pills. Picture yourself, Ken Lai, a dedicated marketer on the brink of the project of a lifetime. You've bled into those slides. You've sacrificed sleep. You've poured your sweat and tears into every detail. But then, a cold email arrives, you lost. Your rival took everything. The sting of rejection feels like a blade against your pride, tempting you to collapse and surrender. But stop. Look at the fire still burning in your soul. Marcus Aurelius left us a haunting metaphor of the great fire. He said, "A small candle is snuffed out by a gentle breeze, but a massive inferno? It devours everything thrown into it. It consumes every obstacle to burn higher, brighter, and more magnificent than ever before." Instead of wasting days in resentment or blaming your rivals, You choose the path of the Stoic warrior. You take the pain of that failure and turn it into high-octane fuel. You dive into the most advanced AI algorithms, strategies your competitors haven't even dreamed of yet. You transmute humiliation into hyperfocus. You turn your sorrow into a relentless engine of research. And then, just a few months later, you return with a new weapon. An AI marketing empire so dominant that your old rival is nothing but a fading shadow in your rearview mirror. Adversity didn't come to stop you. It came to test how big your fire truly is. Amor Fati. It is the ultimate declaration. Everything that happens is fuel for me. Do not pray for a smooth life. Pray to become a great fire, where every setback, every failure only makes your light more blinding. Do you have the courage to love your scars until they shine like medals of honor? Your mission isn't to outrun the storm. It is to be the fire that consumes the storm. Good morning, my warrior. Before you step out that door and plunge into the relentless rush of a new day, stop for a moment. Equip yourself with the most mysterious spiritual armor history has ever witnessed. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who ruled an entire world, began his day not with flattery or praise, but with a cold warning whispered in the shadows of his command tent. Today you will meet meddlers, the ungrateful, the arrogant, the deceitful, the envious, and the antisocial. Why would the most powerful king on earth choose to poison his morning with such thoughts? No, he wasn't being negative. He was practicing the high art of razor-sharp empathy. Step into the real world with me for a second. You're sitting in a high-stakes meeting in the heart of a bustling office in Hanoi or Sao Paulo. A powerful client suddenly slams the table. They hurl insults, belittle your expertise, and spit on your hard work right in front of your colleagues. The air gets thick, heavy, ready to explode. Your blood begins to boil. Your face flushes. Your fight or flight instinct is screaming in your head, begging you to strike back with the same venom just to protect your wounded ego. But in that split second, on that razor's edge, activate the Emperor's gaze. Instead of seeing an enemy that needs to be destroyed, look through that shell of rage and see a soul that is bleeding. Smile, not with sarcasm but with a deep, haunting pity. Poor soul. Their life must be at a dead end. Their internal pain must be so immense that they have to borrow aggression just to feel an ounce of power. Marcus taught us that these people only act this way because they are intellectually crippled. They have lost the most sacred ability to distinguish between good and evil. When you choose empathy, their poison arrows become useless. They strike the diamond cliff of your soul and shatter into dust. You suddenly realize an ultimate truth. You can never control the toxicity or the rudeness of the world out there, but you possess absolute power, the power to decide your own kindness. Your stillness in the center of the storm is your loudest answer. It transforms you from a victim of circumstance into a king of yourself. Don't let someone else's darkness extinguish your light. Today, who will you choose to be? The immovable cliff, or a fragile leaf swept away by the winds of lost souls? Deep within the alchemy of the soul, there lies a secret that our modern world, drowned in noise and vanity, has long forgotten: the power of being unseen. We live in an era where every act of kindness is treated like a commodity, traded for shallow digital validation or the applause of the crowd. But let me take you back to a quiet, powerful truth from Marcus Aurelius, a lesson on the nature of goodness through the image of an apple tree in a desolate field. Have you ever seen an apple tree stop to ask, "Who will praise the sweetness of my fruit?" Or, "Will anyone take a photo of me to post on social media?" Never. It simply sinks its roots deep into the earth, reaches its branches toward the sky, and silently bears fruit. It gives away its sweetness because that is its nature. It is its breath. It is its destiny. The true Stoic soul is the same. Marcus Aurelius taught us, when you have done a good deed and another has benefited from it, why do you look for a third thing like a fool, such as thanks or reputation? Imagine a brutal, sweltering afternoon in the heart of Hanoi or the chaotic streets of New York. The asphalt is melting beneath your feet, and the haze of dust blurs your vision. Amidst the rushing crowd, you find a stranger helplessly pushing a stalled car through the traffic like a fragile boat in a dangerous current. Without a second of hesitation, without calculating the cost, you dive in. Your palms press hard against the burning metal. Your muscles strain with the effort, sweat soaking through your shirt. And the moment the engine roars back to life, before the driver can even turn around to whisper a word of thanks, you have already slipped into a narrow alley and vanished into the crowd. You didn't pull out your phone to film an inspiring clip. You didn't post a long-winded status about your sacrifice in the 100-degree sun. What? Because in that exact moment, you touched the most primal form of happiness, the purity of the soul. You realized that being a person of integrity, Acting according to the goodness the universe gifted you is the ultimate reward. Unconditional kindness needs no audience, for it is the most exquisite symphony that only you and the universe will ever hear. How long has it been since you felt that quiet pride of doing something great that no one will ever know? Remember, true kindness begins when the need for recognition ends. Are you brave enough to be the apple tree of your own life? Close your eyes and imagine an invisible web, a silver thread weaving through the hearts of billions, tethering the most distant strangers on this planet together. Marcus Aurelius, standing at the absolute summit of power, didn't see the world as fragmented shards. He saw a single, breathing organism. To him, we are not lonely islands in a vast ocean. We are cells, the very limbs of a great living entity. We were born to work together, he whispered in the shadows of the palace, like feet, like hands, like eyelids, like the rows of the upper and lower teeth. To obstruct one another is against nature. Let me take you to the cathedral of football, the roaring Maracana Stadium in Brazil. Luquiete de seleção. It's the final minute of injury time. The pressure is 1,000 tons crushing your chest. A star striker has the ball. He hungers for solo glory, for the front page headlines of tomorrow morning. He chooses not to pass to his wide-open teammate just yards from the goal. The result? The shot is blocked, the team loses, and an entire nation sinks into mourning. He thought he was just keeping the ball, but in reality he severed the very artery that led to his own glory. In the brutal dance of life, when you choose selfishness, you aren't just hurting others. You are sabotaging the very ecosystem you rely on to survive. In your volatile world of marketing, can lie, or in any corner of modern life, this philosophy is a revolution in mindset. When you choose to support a struggling competitor, or when you heartfully contribute value to your community without an immediate price tag, that isn't blind charity. That is maintaining the great machine you inhabit. To deceive a partner or to trample on others to climb higher is like a row of teeth biting the tongue. That pain will eventually radiate and poison your entire body. The most haunting and powerful truth is this: you are only truly strong when the world around you is stable. Stop living like a jagged, broken piece trying to force your way into someone else's space. Live like an essential heartbeat of the universe. Today, when you stand at the crossroads of I and we, will you choose to be an isolated cell hoarding for yourself? Or will you be the warm lifeblood that nourishes the entire body? Remember, their breath is your rhythm. You are never alone, unless you choose to cut yourself off from this miracle. Stand before the mirror and look deep into your own eyes. Let me lead you into a dark chamber of the mind, a place where time is no longer a straight line but a spectral vortex. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of emperors, once stood at the summit of the world, looking down at all of creation and whispering a cold, majestic truth. Alexander the Great and his mule driver, when they drew their final breath, both became the exact same thing, a handful of dust. The universe recognizes no crown or chain when death comes knocking. Every grand conquest, every echoing fame, every searing humiliation, all are eventually devoured by the eternal silence of Mother Earth. Now set aside the legends and touch your own reality. Go find that tattered old photograph of your grandparents, taken on a radiant afternoon decades ago. Look at those youthful faces. Then they were just like you are now, overflowing with ambition, yet heavy with anxiety. They lay awake over bills, they suffered through heartbreaks, they hungered for the world's respect. But ask yourself, where are those storms of the heart now? Where did those life or death worries vanish to? They have dissolved into the void like smoke, leaving behind only a silent image and memories fading with the years. So, warrior of the present, why do you allow today's petty anxieties, a delayed project, a bitter comment online, or a temporary failure, to steal the vibrant heartbeat of your life? Impermanence isn't here to haunt you. It comes as a mysterious gift to unshackle your soul from the chains of the ego. Marcus Aurelius reminds us of a brutal yet beautiful truth. The present is the only treasure you truly hold and the only thing you can ever lose. The past is dead. The future is a mirage. Do not live as if you have 10,000 years to waste. Live so that every breath carries the warmth of awareness and every action is soaked in integrity. When you realize you are but a speck of dust in the great dance of time, you will find yourself freer than ever before, to love, to give, and to burn brightly right here, right now. Do not let death terrify you. Let it make you live more fiercely. Let the curtain fall on the drama of hollow words and idle reflections. We've walked the darkest corridors of the mind together, turning the weathered pages of an emperor's diary. But wake up. Philosophy is not a piece of jewelry to be flaunted on your lips. It is a blade forged for action. Marcus Aurelius, a man who survived hundreds of brutal battles and the deadliest conspiracies, left us one final command, sharp as cold steel piercing through the fog of stagnation. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Look at the burning reality outside. We spend hours hitting like on quotes about courage, yet we tremble before a single career-defining decision. We post heartwarming stories about kindness, then snap at a server over a minor mistake. This is the tragedy of the divide between thought and reality. Knowledge without action is nothing but a magnificent tomb for the soul. Can you hear the scratch of the pen on the parchment of fate? Your life is not a rough draft. There is no director behind the scenes to shout cut when you stumble. Every tiny choice, how you handle a bitter defeat, how you keep a promise to yourself when no one is watching, how you stand back up after an inner storm, these are the eternal strokes of ink writing the only script of your life. Stop looking at the sky, begging for a miracle or waiting for some lucky star to align. The universe is under no obligation to hand you what you refuse to build. The miracle isn't found in some distant, supernatural realm. It lives in your integrity amidst temptation. It lives in the raw courage to live true to your noble nature in a world full of masks. Remember this, Ken Lai, and every warrior listening. You don't need to wait for salvation. Step out there. Take the pen of destiny. And become the miracle you've been searching for. Don't just dream of the light. Become the torch itself. Live with integrity. Act with ferocity. That is the only path to becoming unconquerable. Invictus.